15. And boy, is this ever a big week for our kids and educators too. Thousands returning to the classroom for in-person learning for the first time in a year. And I can tell you as a parent, I am right there with you, just as concerned about the mental health of our kids as well as keeping them safe from COVID. So we are bringing in licensed psychologist Dr. Emily Basha right now to help answer the questions so many of you have been sending our way. First, Dr. Basha, thank you very much for being with us this morning. We really appreciate it. Also want to let everyone who's with us at home know a lot of these questions are anonymous, clearly because we have kids involved. So the first question is this. My child has been looking at a computer screen for a year now, but will be heading back to the classroom. What can I do to make sure that they are not having device withdrawals?
Good morning, Kaylee. Thanks for having me on the show this morning. The more children can make this shift to new schedules, social interactions, and physical activities, the better adjusted they're going to become to adapting to resuming those routines. So permit some things to remain constant in the face of change. And for instance, like older children and adolescents have remained socially connected through these media platforms to their peers. And so this has provided a buffer against isolation, depression, and loneliness. Continuing to permit some of these screen times to remain connected to peers who may not be returning to their classes or in different schools can also be helpful to experience that continuity of social connection.
And try to work in, I apologize, but try to work in some exercise time to get outdoors and get some good old-fashioned vitamin D in between.
Absolutely, yes. And to burn off the tension and that excess energy, exercise and even unstructured play will be really helpful and important, so that they're getting to break away from some of those more rigid routines. For the media part, I think this is especially important for the single child households.
Okay, that's great advice. Here's another question. What should I start doing right now to get them ready to head back into the classroom? I know we've got a lot of families on spring break this week who can use this as a real opportunity, but this mom or dad is saying, how can I help them adjust to another new learning setting?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of apprehension and anxiety, and people aren't sure what to expect, and a lot of fear. So I think first and foremost is really just acknowledge their emotions, listen to their concerns, help them find creative solutions that will help them adapt and adjust to these new demands. I think establishing a routine that closely mirrors the one that they're going to expect to see in the schools, if you haven't done so already, will help them really adjust. And also, depending on what's helpful for your child so far, you may want to carry that over to help transition into the school setting. So if they're a smaller child or even an older one, maybe like a transitional object that they can take from home
that's a
to
good idea,
school.
like hold in the pocket to make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's really good.
exactly.
Well, part of why we're talking with you this morning is we were having a conversation, the moms here at ABC 15, about being a little surprised, seeing some emotions coming from some of our kids who tend to be, they seem strong to us, right? But when it comes to that and we see our kids kind of breaking down, I want to bring in this question. My child is anxious about going back to school. What can I do to help ease those fears? And also, I'm anxious. How do I make sure those fears don't rub off on my child? Which brings it full circle, because I think we all end up doing things like this from time to time. What do we do?
Well, first of all, let me normalize that. We are not alone.
Thank you.
You are not alone. No, none of us. We're all in this together. And it's, the first time really worldwide that we're facing a threat together. So hopefully there can be some unity and cohesion that's experienced through this. But apprehension about reentering school is totally justified given the long-term disruption faced by the pandemic. And also know school districts, teachers, parents, students, government, and community leaders, this is all new for them, and we're all leaning in to support for a smooth transition. It might be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but I trust that we'll get there. I think for parents, really just being informed so you know what to expect and you can relay this information to your children that's age appropriate, but also practice flexibility and adaptation. That's going to help them build resilience.
That's
just for us as parents needing
Makes you
to
feel like
do
you
that
can
as
breathe
well.
a little easier and give yourself a break, a pat on the back. Dr. Emily Basha, thank you. A joy to have you here on ABC 15 Mornings. We appreciate it.